first glance, Bull and Bear just looks like a Monopoly ripoff, but when you really get into it, it feels like a Monopoly ripoff. Let's talk about it.
What does that even mean, Bowers Game?
Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again for another Thoughts from the Corner with my good friend Ronnie and Lucy.
Hey.
And we're talking about Bull and Bear. This one is for ages 12 plus for 2 to 5 players. Take you 1 hour and 15 minutes per game. And in Bull and Bear, I'm going to take you to the table, show you how it plays, and then we'll give you our thoughts on the game. Alrighty then, so we're going to take a look at what's going on in Bull and Bear market. First, everybody's going to get one of these little cool metal pieces right here. And you're going to start on the go spot, or the start end of fiscal year spot. And how you win the game is by collecting a bunch of the stocks. The easiest way to explain that is just to go over all the different spots on the board, because this is a roll and move game. On your turn, you're going to roll the 2 blue dice, and if you get doubles, you're going to go again. But you're going to land on a spot, you're going to do whatever is on that spot. So let's talk about the different spots, and then we'll talk about the end game conditions, because there's not just one, there's actually numerous different ways you can potentially win the game. So first we got limousine services, which is going to allow you to go to the next spot of your choice. So pretty much you'll get to go to a spot and do whatever that spot is, which is super nice. We have insurance, retail, industry, technology, real estate, and investment. These are the 6 stocks that you are going to be purchasing throughout the game. The more of these you have, the more likely you are to win the game. And there's 10 of each of these stocks. This is very important to know there's 10, because that's going to help you figure out how the win conditions work. So for instance, the game we played, Lucy got 70% of one sector, meaning that she had 7 of a specific color card, and that's how she won the game. But you could also get 50% of 2 sectors. You could have 3 office positions plus 20% of the rest. Now, this is a nitpick on the rule booklet, but they don't actually specify what office position is. I'm pretty sure it's one of these 3 rolls down here at the bottom of the card, because as you acquire more of a specific color of card, you get perks. So you'll start to get more money. You'll start to collect fees from other people, which is really, really nice. It's a great way to get money. So insurance, retail, industry, you got those. And then you also have some around the other side as well. So those are repeats. Next, you have news, which is just complete random. You're going to flip over one of these news cards. They'll do a variety of different things. That one's lose a turn, collect 10 grand from the bank, play an additional turn, take a share of a stock from any other player, which is a huge... These could be very, very swingy. Some of them will also manipulate the market, which in theory you keep track of on here with like these magnetized pieces. It's not the greatest system, because you're actually going to be doing this a lot. You're going to be modifying and moving this board just a ton. And it gets very fiddly and annoying, because one of the most prevalent spots you're going to see are what are called Bull and Bear. So if you land on Bull and Bear, first and foremost, you're probably going to curse and say, oh, this sucks, I hate going to these spots. But you're going to roll all 3 of the dice, and this is how much money you'll pay. So you pay $3,000 straight from the jump. But then you're also going to manipulate the specific 6 stocks that you have in the game. So right now we've been manipulating the 3 stock, which would be the industry. And we are going to be, so if we landed on this bear, we would take 2,000 times 11. So essentially, you would then go over here, and you would go to the 3, and you would be bloop, 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 manipulating these, because you have 3 of them here, because you can go into the hundreds, and you'd be moving these all around to the right spots that you need to move them onto. And then your turn's over, and you're like, man, that turn sucked. I'm going to go to the bathroom. There's lots of bulls and bears. There's 12 of them on the 40 spaces around the board, which is what it is. There's also the auction space, one of the more fun aspects of the game, but once again, a missed opportunity to really kind of make more decisions in the game, because when you land on an auction space, you're going to roll a die, and whatever number you roll, that is the number that's going to come up for auction. So right now we roll the 3, the industry would be up for auction, as opposed to just, letting people pick what they want. 3 dividend spots around the outside, which are really, really terribly covered in the rules. And by terribly covered, I mean they don't really talk about what they do at all or how they work at all. The only one they specifically mention is this one here, which gets you 5,000 extra bucks. This is all handled in the app, and you have to have the app. We forgot to mention in the pros and cons, but we did, but I don't think we hammered it enough on there. You have to use the app in order to play this game. Just period, because they don't tell you at all what happens when you hit the dividend button, when you land on a dividend space, but it's a lot of stuff. Everybody makes a bunch of cash most of the time, and then the stock market gets all wiggly, jiggly, and it messes with stuff. And yeah, so there's an app, and overall, I'd say the app is fine. It's fine. And one thing, if you're playing this game, you don't have to sign up. In fact, I tried to sign up, and it said, no, your phone number doesn't work. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. And then I tried it again, and I was like, no, your phone number doesn't work, and blah, blah, blah. But you can log this as a guest, so it's not the biggest deal. So dividend spots on the quarters. Next, we have limousine. Oh, we already talked about limousine services. We have go back, which means you roll the dice, and you go backwards. Pretty simple. It also cancels out your doubles for whatever reason. And the start of the fiscal year, where you get $20,000 bonus when you go there or pass it. And those are the different spots on the board. So, core gameplay, roll the dice, move, land on a spot, do the thing, try and collect these so you can hit one of the end game conditions. There's also a scenario where you don't hit the end game conditions, and if you do that, then eventually the game will end when someone lands on dividends, and then you'll total up like the total value of what everybody has, which then is where the market prices of things come into play, because for the most part, the market prices don't, like, you will be like, I don't quite get why we're doing what or what's going on. And yeah. Oh, there's also loans you can take out. So if you have to take them out, or if you just want to take them out, you do it at the beginning of your turn, and they get you money, and you take up to 3 loans, but eventually you'll have to pay them back. And that's what you're going to be doing pretty much inside of Bull and Bear Market, a stock market game. Alrighty then, Bull and Bear. What are our final thoughts? Shit, I should mention the comment. Let me do that real quick. At least get the shot.
You're going to try to teach this game? That's what
I'm going to do like a brief overview.
He teaches it. He cuts the video.
Yeah.
And does it separately.
Oh, really?
It's much better. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's more work, but it's worth it. Alright then, Bull and Bear from Flashpoint Co. What are our final thoughts? Let's get into it, because I imagine we're going to have a lot of thoughts about this game. I do want to say, quick asterisk here before we really get into it. This game was made in Kuwait, and we need to look at it a little bit from that perspective when we get into there, because much like other aspects of life, I don't believe Kuwait is as far as we have advanced in the board game hobby, if you know what I mean. Like, some parts of the world are, say, 15 to 20 years behind us, moving progressively. Like, if you get on Kickstarter right now, most of those games, they're made in, like, German, maybe French, maybe Spanish from time to time, the United States of America, but I don't believe Kuwait is necessarily up there. That's me sugarcoating it, because we're about to say bad stuff about it. Who wants to start?
I mean,
I understand what it's trying to do.
there's good things to say about the game. It's
There
I,
is.
I mean, I think the components are nice. I think.
Let's break it down. So the board definitely looks like a straight up Monopoly ripoff. You're going to see it and be like, this feels like a Monopoly ripoff.
100%.
And it really is kind of a Monopoly ripoff. This looks nice, and it's magnetic, as I showed you in the middle part, and that's cool. But the bottom line is, they move too easily that you're just going to get frustrated with this, and it's pretty important. Like, I feel like there's a reason they really hammered down, like in the rule booklet, the number one rule is download the app, because if you try and do it here, it's going to be difficult. Not to mention, we're just going to get in the bad stuff. Not to mention, the rule booklet sucks. I think that's the biggest issue with this game, because throughout the game, I was like, oh yeah, there's some cool stuff here, there's some cool ideas, I enjoyed this, I enjoyed that, and overall, I kind of wanted to like the game, but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why dividends were doing this, or what dividends even did. Like, if you cannot play this without the app. Like,
you can't.
Period. You will not know how to, not like, oh, the math is too hard. Like, literally, the rule booklet doesn't explain what dividends do, except for one very specific dividend. And then because you get on dividends, it messes with all the prices, and it's confusing.
Yeah, I tried to reverse engineer how the hell the app pays out dividends. No fucking clue. I have no idea. If I spent a lot more time on it, maybe I could figure out how it's supposed to be done. But how do you do it? You push the dividend button in the app.
And you press buy. You press the buy.
Oh, yeah.
Pay out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the app first. You have to have the app. They have the QR code on the board. It's rule number 1
It
of
is
31
rule number 1.
rules. Which
Download the app.
I'm not going to trash that, but I don't particularly like the format of the rule booklet. It's literally just 31 separate rules, and some of them are set up, so it's weird. But once again, Kuwait, I don't know what other popular board games are from Kuwait, so I'm going to give that one a pass. What you think, Lucy?
And I know it's trying to add an extra like little stock market to the exchange and everything to make it so you don't have to depend on properties that you buy. You can essentially try to invest, but then there's whole like these extra ways to win, which kind of make the game like go faster in theory. But yeah, no, it's just I know what it wants to do, but it seems like it only does it through like the lens of Monopoly. And as I kind of hammered home, there's an online game already on the Wii called Fortune Street or whatever, and it does the same thing but better.
Okay, I'm going to say something, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I like this game for what it is if the rule booklet didn't suck.
See, the weird thing about the game, like, a lot of the rules that are completely not explained in the rule book, like, the app just does it. But it would also be helpful if in the rule book, it's like, it just says, like, the app handles all this stuff, but, like, it isn't mentioned.
Yeah. I want to specify, this is one of those games. This is after one game. This thing is beat to hell. All four of us have read this entire rule booklet at this point, because it's like, surely, it's got to be in here. It's got to be. It's not. It's not in there. Trust me. It's not in there.
But the app just does it for you, a lot of it.
And what really annoys me about that is the fact that there's nothing on the back of the rule booklet. They literally had an entire extra page where they could have put so much valuable, vital information that I think this game could have been presentable. Like I said, I wanted to like this game. I enjoy, as Lucy mentioned, the different ways to win the game. There's like alternate win conditions. There's not just like one alternate win condition. There's like 5 different alternate win conditions on that board over there that you can do. Granted, there's not like many choices you have, and at the end, we got to talk roll and move. Yeah, it's roll and move. It's roll and move.
I feel
hard.
like they want to do something with the stock market and have that be important, but there's only the base of again Monopoly, and like this kind of game format they're trying to go for doesn't function in this type of a roll and move.
I agree.
You want to buy it because there's a whole thing about buying stock, about having the market go up and down for being a bear or bull, and like that's interesting. I want to pay because it has like a whole magnetic board in here, and I want to pay attention to that, like a stock market person would pay attention to like what the value of the stock market is. But again, that table also doesn't come into point unless you're paying out dividends. Where I think the dividends are based off of like how much the stock is worth, but even though that matters, like the price of the stock doesn't change, which is also kind of weird for like a stock market game. Like why is the value of the stock going up, but each time I pay the same price for it and a fee for it? And maybe we played it wrong. There's a big possibility.
I don't think we did.
But then again,
Because
that's
the app
the rules.
does it for you, Lucy. If you hit buy, then it does it.
Okay, let's
we
talk
don't
about the
have
app.
to play
So we have talked so much about the app. What did you think about the app?
The app is cool. I wish it would let me do the math by myself.
Well, I'm glad the app does the math for me. That's why I have the app. But I really like the app. I mean, I thought it was great. I did have one thing that I really did not like about it. It can only display up to 3 people at once.
On mobile. It does say in the rules they recommend
on my phone,
iPad.
Yeah, I could see 3 people's.
You
You can actually see like everyone what stocks they have right there on one screen too, but 3 people. So if you want to see the 4th person, you have to scroll. It's kind of annoying. But if you play with an iPad, there's more screen there, so that's probably fixed.
In theory, we didn't check on the iPad.
Yeah, we didn't check.
No, but for example, for stocks, I can't sell the stocks for like what they're worth. I have to sell them for the price at what I buy them.
Yeah, but
which is ridiculous because the point of the stock game is usually you want to gain more stock, have it become more valuable, and then sell it off if you have any money.
That's
this isn't a stock game.
But the thing is, it has
it's
so
bull
much
and
stock.
bear market. It's supposed
Sure,
to be.
that's the name of it.
And it has so much to do with stock, but it's not. I want a stock game, and this isn't a stock game.
And one more thing that hasn't been mentioned that I do want to mention is there's not a huge variety of what's going on in the game. Like, I got so sick and tired of bull and bear. Because you bull and bear all of the time. Let's see. There's 6, 9, 12 of the 40 spots are bull and bear. And that means that you're going to be constantly, if you want to use this board, which you're going to want to use the board because it looks super cool, you're going to be fumbling with it all the time. Like, oh, did we fumble it? Or did we forget to mention in the app? Because the thing is, doing the bull or bear, once you know how to do it and you're doing it so often, happens so quickly. But if you forget to do it in the app, then it screws everything up. Or if you, it's just,
Because you want to get over Bull and Bear quickly because it's the boring part.
It is the boring part, and it's gonna suck when you land out and you're like, oh, this sucks, I hate it. And then your turn feels wasted, and then there's a lot of other like mass market crappy game tropes, like lose a turn and just steal something from someone.
That made me upset because that's
But
yeah.
I'm not gonna knock it as much for that one, but losing a turn. I mean and it's random. It's completely random. It's not like, the person with the most.
I thought losing a turn is one of the not as bad ones. I lost 15,000.
No, like losing a turn isn't bad as someone stealing your stock.
Okay.
Yeah, that. Yeah, losing a turn is like you rolled bad. It's better than rolling on a bull or a bear.
That's fair.
I mean, like, if you think about Monopoly, being in jail at the end of the game is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be in jail. So, like, losing a turn, not that bad towards the end of the game.
I think that they have a lot of good ideas in here with the stock market, and I like the whole dividend thing, but again, I can't track that. I don't know when it's going to be, and I think that if they can able to get away from this Monopoly design, that's really holding them back. This is
It's supposed to be.
no, but it's not the game that they want to make is not Monopoly. It's a stock
It is.
market game.
No, that's not. This is the game
here's
they
the
wanted
thing.
to make.
There's so much under the hood. Like that dividend thing was cool. It's like, oh, but the price of the thing is completely changed because of the
Yeah,
dividends
because at one
we paid
point,
out.
like, I paid a lot to get a stock, but since I was like the main shareholder of that stock, I got majority of that money that I spent
Which
back.
makes sense thematically. Like, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. They didn't stick the landing here. I think more spaces explaining using that last
There
page.
doesn't need to be there doesn't need to be a board or this kind of board. Like I could see this being like a different kind of game, like a worker placement game. Or
Oh, you are
something.
going
Completely
way,
different game.
way out of okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I haven't actually given my thoughts yet, really.
Oh.
I've only just been.
And I think
commenting.
we should lead with the fact that you legitimately enjoy Monopoly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk to like the 5 people watching this video who actually know how to play Monopoly.
Okay.
Correctly. He
You're right. Who actually know how to play Monopoly. I am probably the only person I know that like really likes Monopoly.
It's okay.
If you play it right.
I mean, even so, it's okay.
And Monopoly is good because there's a lot of decisions to be made in Monopoly. It like everyone calls it a roll and move game, but like there's a lot more to Monopoly than roll and move. There's real decisions to make. There are almost no decisions to make in this game. There's almost none. So when there's an auction, you kind of make a decision, not super impactful. What's the other?
If you get a news, you can have a chance to buy.
That's
one
not. You don't make no.
randomly.
Well,
There's a couple fringe decisions you
there's
can do.
almost
But
no
none of
decision.
your
So
you
like
can
you
make-
roll the dice and whatever happens happens.
It's a lot of randomness.
There's
Yeah.
almost no decision
You
making.
can't
in
freely
the-
trade
in-
your
in this
stocks
game.
and whatnot.
And that's why, in my opinion, this is a terrible game.
You can sell them, but it's for half of the cost of them, which once
It's
again
purposely bad.
is
Like
fixed instead of
Isn't it the one based on the market? Which would have been cool if it was based on the market. I'd be like, okay.
Unless, of course, we played it incorrectly, but if we did, that's because they didn't put it there. Because there's a specific rule that is about selling, and it has nothing to do about that.
And if it went down because you sold, as in real life, if you sell stock, it will go down. But you get the price that you sell it at. That would make it more. That would give you more choice. But you also can't freely trade stock. And it's a lot of
The player pieces, though, they're nice.
It's
I like the
Monopoly
box.
pieces.
No, there's a helicopter.
It's a monopoly. It's a silver monopoly.
The safe is awesome.
I got a little laptop.
And this looks really cool until you
No,
actually try and use it, and then
The
it kind of
top row, you
sucks.
can't read it.
It is not paper money.
It is totally. What are you talking about?
Well,
It's
it's
paper money.
Plastic.
That is. What are you talking about?
Well,
This is
it's
100% paper money.
It's
What do
paper.
you-
but
It's just a
it's
lie. It's a
glossy.
bold-faced
It-
lie.
This is what kind of paper is this?
It's like
What?
laminate.
What? Like we're Dunder Mifflin? That's paper.
There's more plastic in here than wood.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I don't know how you define paper.
it's nice, but it is.
It's paper.
flimsy.
I've never had someone question my naming what paper is.
No,
Do
but
you
part
think
of
it's
the
paper?
graphic.
It's not paper.
It's closer to paper than plastic.
There's
Yeah,
more.
thank you.
What?
It's too flimsy. You can easily rip it. It's no.
Okay,
It's nice. Yeah,
So-
it's like lined. It's like laminated paper.
Here's the question. I think I already know the answer. If I were going to send this game
No.
home with you, would it? Let me finish.
No.
Would it warrant a spot on your shelf?
No,
Nope.
I can't read the top line. The graphic
No.
design.
But here's another question I do want to mention. I feel like there's the bones of a potentially good game here if they would have put it in the oven more and play tested it more and made a better rule booklet. I think that is fair to say.
I think they have to get rid of this.
Monopoly, we know you hate the Monopoly layout.
No, Monopoly's fine.
No, Monopoly's a good game, not that good.
But the layout
it's
of
a
the
good
board, right?
game. No, but like the whole game design, this game shouldn't be a roll and move. You shouldn't have.
That's asking so much. Like, that's
This
the
is
That's
core
why.
if this
foundational
game was just
mechanism of
completely
games.
different, maybe a new name too.
If this were dexterity, I would love it.
We'll talk about the name. It's the bull and bear market. What are you gonna research when you go Google that? Everything that's bull and bear market related.
If you were a game maker, do not make your name a super generic game name because then it's really hard to find. Agreed.
Yes. Like when I tried to look up, maybe someone else did the rules. All I got was like bull and market information, which is great and all, but didn't teach you the game.
Either way, that is
No.
bull. No, it still is bull and bear market, Lucy.
It's
It's just the name of the game.
no.
Wait! We didn't mention another cool thing.
What?
It's got a handle.
2 handles.
No, I think that's actually supposed to be
On the inside?
Yeah, to prop up the thing. Yeah,
It could be a handle if you wanted to be a
you
handle.
could. Yeah. And you can hold it two-handed.
Look at that.
Yeah, that works great. Oh,
Shoot.
But hey,
Sugar.
let me know in the comments if you know how to play Monopoly, because there's got to be more than 5 of you out there.
What?
But
People
probably
don't play
not.
Monopoly.
No,
Monopoly's just
like
about-
really know
Well,
how
here's
to
the
play.
thing: if people
And
don't
you have to
realize
actually-
they're playing it incorrectly, they're going to say yes.
No,
It's
no,
going to
no.
skew the numbers.
No. 'Cause if
No.
you're confused on why I'm asking, then you don't know how to play Monopoly. Because anyone who does know how to play knows why I'm asking.
Monopoly's
It has to do
just
with free
an
parking
okay-
and auctions
Yeah, no,
and stuff.
yeah, no, that's fine, but
Yeah.
But the
Still.
safe is really cool, though. Can we at least admit that safe's like a really
Yeah, I
cool
like the
thing?
safe.
no, it's just solid. It's just a metal.
Oh,
It
wait,
looks like a safe!
So wait, that little was the little USB? Is that in here somewhere?
USB is hard to find. It's
Yeah,
hard to see.
so I was the USB, and it
That was-
USB
it
plug
is
is
so
sick.
tiny, and I legit lost my piece like 5
you had to
times.
put a black piece near it.
Like I
It was
couldn't
like-
find it.
There you go. Let's go over bear market. Answering all these questions as always. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
Bye. No, rip the game. No.
This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.